So we are out here today to test out the new kayak and the new motor. My new motor is the PowerPole Move PV. But after about a week of rigging and asking questions from a couple anglers on Instagram and YouTube, I was able to, rig up everything. And today we are going to test it. So let's take a look at her right now. So there she is. That's the PowerPole Move. Did a couple different things to the kayak, did the wiring. For example, got our wiring there. Still in progress, but for the most part, she's rigged up. There's the PowerPole remote on the charging cradle. I've got a second one here on my neck. Sure that guy's on. Good to go. There she is, the PowerPole Move. All right, let's do it. Mounting her actually isn't the most simple ordeal. I mean, you're talking about a 50-pound motor on a kayak. What I did was I went with this Power Pucks plate here. And the cool part about that is it has a connection. So all you have to do is slide her onto the plate. And she's connected. And the locking pin. Hang on, bud. All right. All right, here we go. Let's do this. What speed setting are we on? So let's fire up the fish finder and just see what speed we're getting. So I haven't introduced you guys to Obi. Obi. Pound it. Pound it. Pound it. Oh yeah, my dude. Good boy. Okay, so the motor's starting to come out of the water. The motor head, so we need to get the collar further down. So let's do that. Excuse me, bud. The nice thing about the Move is that the collar is really easily adjustable. So pull the collar. Let's put it maybe there. All right. So the head really wants to sit kind of real low. So you adjust that little collar, you push the head down, you clamp it back. So we're at 8 now. Speed setting 8. We got some boat wake behind us right now. And we're sitting at about 2.7 miles an hour at speed setting 8. 2.88, 2.73. 2.6, 2.8 seems to be where it's at speed setting 8. So I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna bump it up to 13 and we'll see what we get. Okay, gonna go in a straight line, speed setting 13. See what happens. So I can already feel a big difference right now, putting out 5 settings. Looks like we're hitting 3.8, 3.9, 3.98, 3.97. So we're just under, 4, we hit 4, 4.13. So it's hovering around 4. It looks like it's flattening about 4.1 on speed setting number 13. So I'm gonna bump this up. Let it run for a little bit. Just look at the numbers. So yeah, 4.1, 4.8. So speed setting 13, you're looking at about 4 miles an hour. setting 13. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of power in that turn. Wow. All right. Let's bump it up to 16. All right, so we're at speed setting 16 out of 20. Gonna let her flatten out a little bit. For the first time, I'm starting to feel a little bit of resistance in front of the boat. At 13, it was gliding really well. It's still going well, but you do feel the that water coming back at you. So we're looking at almost 4.9, 4.87, 4.94, 4.95. Say about 4.9 miles an hour on speed setting 13. We'll go 18 first, see what we get at 18. So getting a little bit of water in the deck here with speed setting 18. Nothing that doesn't go back out of the gunnels, but you're getting a little bit. So yeah, it definitely wants to sit at about 5.2, 5.3 at speed setting 18. Bring her up to 20. This is where you have to be careful, because if I turned on 20, like, we're both coming out of the boat. $19, $20. We're getting about 5.5, 5.66, 5.69. But you're getting a little bit of flex in the plate and in the kayak at speed setting 20. But I think playing with the collar location and how deep that motor is, you can get maybe a little bit more speed out of it. Let's see how silent the Spotlock is. So let's see if I Spotlock, if it jolts me back or not. So Spotlocked, motor head went backwards, completely silent. I can't hear it moving, and I can't hear it engaging on the motor. It really is silent. I mean, this is the coolest part about the XTR, man. It's just like being able to stand up and cast. So a couple things with the motor. I'm running the extra large offset trolling motor plate from Bonafide and not offsetting the motor. And the reason why I'm doing that is because one complaint from the few guys on social media that have this motor on this kayak or any other 36 volt trolling motor is that you get a lot of flex in the stock Bonafide mounting plate at higher speeds with these really powerful motors. One way you can mitigate that is to get the Bonafide plate, the offset plate, and it has two additional here, and then behind the GoPro there's one as well. Two additional screws that go into the kayak, and there's a little rubber foot underneath here and underneath here. And what that does is when that motor engages, there's two more locations for it to rest on the kayak rather than just the 4 screws for the stock mounting plate. So instead of 4 screws, you now have 6 locations, and it disperses that that weight a little bit better. So this plate is actually aftermarket. And the reason why I have that is because there's no real easy way to mount the PowerPole move to the stock XTR plate without drilling your own holes and basically DIYing it yourself. The one way I was able to get around that is this PowerPucks plate here. This PowerPucks plate, it has the Minn Kota hole patterns. So this PowerPucks plate mounts directly to the XTR plate without having to DIY anything. You don't have to drill your own holes. Mounts right to the plate, and then the motor mounts to the PowerPucks plate. So this motor has something called instant reverse. So rather than having to whip your motor head all the way around and face it towards you in order for it to reverse, by just pressing this button, I can reverse it. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna go towards this wall. I'm gonna hit that and we're gonna see if it stops me. All right, so we're going towards the wall. This probably isn't that safe, but we'll do it sooner than later. All right, now instant reverse. You can see the speed setting changed to 10, and it is reversing me. Wow, that's really cool. And if you notice, when I disengage the reverse, it jumped back to speed setting 12. So it has memory of what speed setting you last used reverse. So let me just demonstrate that one more time. So we're going forward, speed setting 12. Okay, I'm gonna engage the instant reverse. Click, it jumps to 10. And now we're going in reverse. So if I wanted the speed setting to be a little bit softer, I could adjust it to 6, like that. Re-engage the motor into forward. It jumps back to 12. So now anytime I use reverse going forward, it'll use that new speed setting. I know PowerPole has these 2 buttons. It's if you have PowerPoles in the back. This one remote can work both your PowerPole move and the PowerPoles in the back. I really wish that these buttons were reprogrammable to speed settings. I think it's something that people would want with this motor. It's something I want, and was disappointed that that feature didn't exist. I previously had the NK on the back, decided it wasn't for me. But the thing with the NK300 is you would engage it on higher speeds, like say 50% and above, and you were kind of set on the course you were on. It was really, really fast. It's even faster than this motor for this Kayak. But once you were going, you basically had no way to turn. And I have the Wizard Foot pedals, and you were kind of locked into that course at those higher speeds. And you'd have to disengage the motor, bring it down, turn, and re-engage it to keep going. So there was like a delay in the controls. With this motor, it's just, you have all the control you want. You almost have enough where you could hurt yourself. So you're gonna have to be careful a little bit at those higher speeds, but it's nice, man. This motor's nice. When it's slick calm like this, like right now, it's just, and normally that motor head would be struggling. It would be, constantly trying to turn, making a lot of noise because it doesn't have that wind to kind of keep it pinned on Spotlock. The motor is 6 inches behind this GoPro, and I don't think you can hear it. And it's turning, and it's keeping me pinned in this spot without making any noise. What do you think, baby? Fish? All right, that about wraps it up for the first impressions of the PowerPole move on the Bonafide XTR. It's got the speed, not quite as much as the NK300, but I knew that coming into it. I knew it wasn't going to get 6.2, 6.3 that the NK300 was getting. I think you can play with the collar and the depth of the shaft and get probably an additional 0.2 or 0.3 miles per hour out of the motor. So I got to play with that. This Kayak by itself, I mean, there's so much room, and when you pair those two things together, it's just a joy to use. I mean, there really isn't much more to it than that. But if you guys have any more questions, just let me know and leave them in the comments, and I'll get to them. But I think that wraps it up. Peace.